Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Got my glasses on today, so you know that I'm talking about something serious. I mean business. There's smart Lindsay glasses on. Actually, monks, I might need to look at my computer screen because I read a really great article. Oh, by the way, if you're landing on this video thinking, well, I can come over here to listen to Lindsay gab about stuff, I want to see some craftiness, I do post 4 other crafty videos, either painting or card making, stamping, crafty recipes, that sort of thing. So if this is not your cup of tea, just click over to my channel. If you click on my face down below the video, it'll take you to my channel and you can click on videos and see all the videos that are not me talking at the camera that you might have missed, because for some reason YouTube likes to recommend this. I don't know. I guess people maybe click on thumbnails that have faces on them. I don't know. But I just wanted to put that out there in case you were looking for something else and wondering why the heck this was recommended on your homepage. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Well, actually I do have an idea and I did a video on it, and if you want to watch that, that's probably recommended over here somewhere because, again, that's another one that the YouTube likes to recommend. Okay, so I read this article the other day and mind was blown. And the title of it is The Modern Trap of Turning Hobbies into Hustles, and it was written by Molly Conway, February 18th, 2019. It's on a website called Man Repeller. I've never even heard of this website before, but I saw the article on Facebook and I was intrigued and I clicked over it, and I'm glad I did because it was a really great article. I don't know anything else about that website, but that was a good article. And I will link it below so you can check it out as well, because I think it's really worth a read if you are a creative person. So the premise of this article is how it's okay to do something you love just because you love it, and you don't need to monetize everything. And I was reading her article and she was talking about going to a wedding and seeing this woman in a beautiful dress, and she asked the lady if she made it, and you know, the woman's beaming, yes, I made it, and it was just very flattering, fit in all the right places, beautiful. And the author said, oh, you could sell that. And, or do you sell your work? Do you have a Etsy shop? And then the woman who made the dress looked a little embarrassed and was like, or like, no, I don't, you know. And I think we have this, this tendency to value things that we can put a price on rather than just valuing the fact that we're doing something because we love it. And I know I've said this to people. I've seen something that somebody's made and said, oh my gosh, you could sell that. Or do you have a shop somewhere? Do you sell these online? You know, thinking what a compliment, you know, that I think people would pay money for that, or I would pay money for that. That's you know, thinking that's a great compliment. And it is a compliment, but it shouldn't be the focus of your creative endeavor. And now I feel bad for any time I've told somebody that, wow, you could sell those, because they might not want to. And now I've put this kind of a pressure or expectation on their work, and just enjoying the work is enough. And she said in her article, and this line right there just was like mic drop, she says, you don't have to monetize your joy. And for me, that was like, wow, I needed to hear that, because it'd been a couple weeks of just feeling very cabin fevery, and it's just been cold outside and cold in my craft room, and just hadn't been feeling very inspired. Just want to sit in the living room and binge watch American Crime Story and sit by the fire and have my blankets and my tea and just not do much of anything. And I kind of wanted to bring some art supplies into the living room where it was cozy and work, but then I was like, well, if I make something that's really great, then I will have just wasted it because I wouldn't have filmed it or photographed it or anything like that. And honestly, that was keeping me from creating. I would almost rather waste time sitting in the living room wanting to create something, but not, because I'm worried that, well, I can't film it in here, so if I make something that's great, it's just gonna go to waste because I won't be able to share the tutorial with anybody, you know. And you know, clearly my best, you know, my intention is to share and to inspire others, but what it keeps you from making art because you want to and not be on, you know, I thought that was just kind of, that I just basically read that article at just the right time. And then as soon as I read that, I went out to my craft desk, I grabbed a bunch of sketchbooks and watercolors and different, like, you know, portable crafty things and just started creating. I didn't film it, didn't photograph it or anything, and it was lovely. It was wonderful. And I think we need to give ourselves that that time to explore our passions and not worry about it being approved by anybody else. I kind of remember when the Fitbits were really popular, those like bracelets that would tell you how, I guess they're still pretty popular, tell you how much you've walked, how many steps you've taken. And I remember seeing people post on Facebook that they've, you know, walked all over the city. They were there on vacation. They did all this walking and their Fitbit didn't work, and they're like, did it even count? You know, they were very upset because they had done all this exercise, but their Fitbit wasn't working and it didn't track. They didn't have that validation or that proof that they have done it. And I think a lot of us feel that way with our creativity and then eventually get burnt out because we either feel that it's not worth doing if we can't get that feedback, or it's not worth doing if we're not going to sell it or get some monetary value from it, or we feel like we don't deserve to put our time into something just because we like to do it. And something else came up right around the time of reading this article. A convention that I normally teach at in the spring or early summer contacted me and asked me if I wanted to teach this year. And to be honest, I really didn't. I was just not feeling it. I'm like, I don't want to spend weeks planning these classes and ordering supplies, making sure I have enough and hoping that I could fill the spaces. I mean, they always fill and it's always, you know, monetarily successful and I always enjoy it. But by the end, I am exhausted. There's no microphone or overhead like film mirror thing, so I have to go around, which is fine, but I am just toast by the end of it. And this was a convention that I used to go to kind of before I started doing all of this for a living, and I would just go with my girlfriends for fun. We would go, we would shop, we would eat, we would hang out and craft together in the hotel and just have a grand old time. And it was fun. I didn't know anybody other than my friends, and we just, you know, it was very low key. It was just a girls' weekend, and it was so fun. And it is still fun to go and teach, but it definitely went from being a vacation to being work. And where I'm very lucky that I get to do this sort of thing for work, I was just kind of thinking, well, if I'm not going to go teach, then I probably shouldn't go anyway, because why bother going if I can't, you know, recoup that investment or, you know, profit from the trip and do this. My husband's like, I think that's a mistake. You should go because you want to go, and you should go because you enjoy going. You don't need to work all the time. Everything doesn't have to result in a paycheck. And I think we can get some very lofty expectations on the things that we do because we love them. We love to do it. And I just want to give you permission that it's okay. You can do something because you love to do it. That is enough. It's enough to enjoy the process. It's enough to create something beautiful just for you. Nobody else has to approve of it or love it or share it or like it, or you don't have to film it. It can just be for you, and that's fine, and that's enough. And I also want to apologize to anybody if I ever made anybody feel like they had expectations on their crafts, like they had to go sell it at a craft fair or they had to open an Etsy shop. No, you don't have to do any of that. You could do what's right for you. And I know a lot of people that absolutely, my mother's one of them. She's like, I paint because I love to paint. I would not, you know, I don't sell it. If somebody likes her painting, she actually usually gives it to them because she's like, I do my job to earn a living. I paint because I love to paint. And that is great. There's no, your art's just as valid, whether you are doing it full-time, part-time, in your spare time, whether you're making a living from it or not. Just create and know that that is enough. You're enough. I think we need to be reminded of that, because even though I knew that somewhere, I still felt like, well, I probably shouldn't go if I'm not going to teach. I put that expectation on that trip. And it's a trip I used to go just for fun, just for, you know, the experience of going and giving my brain a rest and seeing new things and just enjoyment and, you know, fellowship and, you know, spending time with my friends. So I just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully maybe this will come to you at a time you need to hear it. Check out the article. It was really good. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, happy crafting.